Hey guys, your Comics here. I'm going to talk about Frozen 2, the best and the worst. I gosh, it's been a long time since I've done the best and the worst. I've seen a Frozen property. I gotta do that more often. Because my gosh, this movie was amazing. No spoilers at all. Other than what you see in front of you, there is a scene where she runs on water and makes ice. Yes, there is. And I've already seen that. So in the trailer, so it's all good. Yeah. So this was actually a pretty awesome film. Way more awesome than I thought it was. I saw. Okay, I can put my cat creature. I got it. There you go. There you go. I saw some reviews, some spoiler-free reviews of Frozen 2, and was like, okay, this sounds good, still sounds good, but I heard there was issues with certain things happening in there, and he didn't, the guys I saw did not like that, and that's okay, let's go. And they in some ways they were right, because I'm looking at it, I see some of these, I'm like, okay, that's something that I didn't like that much. That it's it's not necessarily like the word, it's not necessarily actually, a bad thing, or anything like that. It's more of a, okay, this could have been done better. I've been doing that with a few books and things. My mom actually enjoys reading her oh crap, I get out of here. Enjoys reading her uh like Christian romance novels, where basically you have different things going on, like Grace Livingston Hill or Betty Neal, where basically you have things happen where it's the way they did things, and other novels like her, other people like them, do things is they'll have different things going on, and basically the only difference between the romance novels, Christian romance novels, and non-Christian ones is that they don't go to the bedroom. There's no bedrooms, not usually, unless it's like you're going to sleep, or having a contemplative moment by yourself or something. That's basically how it goes, and that's fine because that's fine. Christianity, you gotta wait till marriage anyway, and that's fine. That's how I get. That is how it is, and basically try to stay that keep that stuff all private and stuff, and that's good. It's good. It's normal stuff, but in the Christian romance novels, one in particular called Carrie, there was a thing I called, they did like the bronze medal type of thing instead of the silver medal or the gold medal. And I basically say basically about that. I might actually go and do a review about that. That'd be cool. I haven't done reviews in a long time. I really want to get some reviews on. I want to do stuff. Now that I'm back, I figured out what's going on with my stuff. Some of my stuff I was dealing with, trying to figure out this fight scene in this comic for a long time. And I finally figured it out. And now I'm drawing it, and it's amazing. And you'll see that on DeviantArt. Dysphoria Sphere. It's going to be great. But anyway, now that we're back, okay? Now that I'm back and everything, I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, what can I do? What can I do? I'm back in full vigor, back, figuring things out, doing other stuff. Yeah, this is so cool. But anyway, in that book, you had what I call the bronze medal instead of a silver medal or a gold medal. The bronze medal of Carrie was, you had the mom. Okay, there was basically, Carrie is this one girl who I basically imagined looks like Wendy Corduroy from Gravity Falls, and her dad was a hardworking, awesome hardworking dude, right? Who had a lot of great ideas and was actually working on this awesome, crazy, epic novel, book about this. It was about all kinds of information. It'll be like, when this book is finished, it will be one of the most revolutionary of its time. This is like in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, I don't know, around that time, and it'll one of those revolutionary of its time. It just has all kinds of cool, awesome science and technology. I don't know, technological, but science and technology, and other things, and philosophy stuff in there, and it's gonna be great. But the problem is, and of course, if everybody's saying, yeah, this stuff is going to make this guy rich and powerful and awesome. The problem was he needs to release the book, and he needed to release the book, and he couldn't release the book for a while because he was still trying to figure out. So he's saying, something's missing. I have all these great ideas, I have all this cool stuff going on, but something is missing in this book. I can't move on until I figure out what it is. Eventually, of course, he found out it was talking about how awesome God is. Yeah, it was, and that's awesome. And he figured it out. But the problem is, the rumors surrounding him, making this revolutionary, awesome book that will make him billions of dollars and make him rich, powerful. Those rumors got to this interesting rich girl. Okay, this interesting hoity-toity, snooty rich girl, and she decided to go out with him and eventually marry him and to hang out with him, waiting for those millions, that cash to roll in. Okay, that was Carrie's mother, and that's Carrie's mother. And the problem is, of course, while he's trying to work on this stuff, they have to go to different places. Basically have to go to different places. They have to. He gets some cash from benefactors, but it's not exactly, enough to get to buy, to buy whatever you want. You have to stick to a budget. You got to do this thing. But she's like, no, I want what I had when I was living in my house, living in my mansion. And basically she always mentioned this other guy. There's this other guy who was better than him. Who's like, oh, if it was like Jimmy or whatever his name was. If it was Jimmy, wait, do I have that book right here? I don't know. I might have it. I do. I know I have it somewhere. I know I do. Because it was awesome. Oh, wait. I think I see it. Is that it? Yes, it is. Let's see here. What's the name? What's the guy's name? Sam Morgan. Sam Morgan. That's his name. Sam Morgan. If I had married Sam Morgan, Mrs. Kavanaugh would say plaintively as she shivered in a cold room, we wouldn't have to stop at such cheap hotels. Sam Morgan. All right, that's the guy's name. Sam Morgan. Now, she would say, yeah, Sam Morgan, you had this, Sam Morgan, and we wasn't with Sam Morgan, we have this, Sam Morgan, we have that. And it was that, of course, ticked her father, ticked Carrie's dad off like nobody's biz, and it's just, oh my gosh, and he was just hating on that, but basically, after working on this thing for years and years and years, finally getting it ready, or basically getting everything all fixed up, and realizing that it was about how awesome God is that was missing from this book. It's like, well, look at all this awesome stuff out there in the world, but there was the source was missing. I realized the source was God. Oh my gosh, that's it. God's the source. He made all this cool stuff. Oh my gosh, he's amazing. He's wonderful. Unfortunately, his health was failing during this time, and he died. So basically, he made all this. He discovered that God was the source of what he was talking about, and it's all cool. And but then he died. So basically, her mother, Carrie's mother, married Sam Kavanaugh after the dude died, after the husband died. And so, but the manuscripts for this book were given. Carrie was able to keep them. Carrie actually helped out with that book all the time. She basically was like her dad's right hand man when it came to this. And so she, had all the manuscripts, and she's like, okay, and he's like, hey, look, I'll continue. The left notes about what to do when the book is finished and stuff like that. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna go to America. I'm gonna go. They're in English or something. I'm gonna go to America. I'm gonna go give this book to the person that the publisher, the person that Dad said to give it to, and then the book will become a book, and that will definitely start helping us out. Basically, that book is eagerly awaited by a bunch of people or something. A bunch of organizations who are looking for this book. They want the book so they can basically sell it and make some serious money off of it, whatever. So I'm going to go do that. Well, the problem is, of course, there was all kinds of problems. That there were some people who wanted, some sleazy jerk who wanted the book for himself, and all kinds of weird, interesting stuff went on there. It was very nice. It was a very interesting book. But Carrie by Grace Hill, that was the book. But in the end, you had things that happened where it was like this. The mom is off with Sam Morgan. All right, he like the dad said, is a louse. He's not a cool guy, not at all. And basically, for a long while, she was hanging out with him, and then she showed up. She found out where Carrie lived, and the mom found out where Carrie lived and showed up at her doorstep, and was like, "Can you help me? I left Sam. I left him. He was. I saw him with some other girl or something." So I just had to leave him. I'm like, oh my gosh, heck yes, this is awesome. Yes, come on, let's have this ending. This would be an awesome ending right here. So they do. So they hang out for a while. The mom and Carrie and the mom hang out for a little while, and but then the girls and the mom, of course, is being all hoity-toity still, but still actually liking some of the stuff going on. Because she basically Carrie found Carrie because of what happened with this thief that was trying to take the manuscripts, and sell them as his own. this dude, this other guy. Okay, there's this other guy who became a love interest for Carrie. Uh, Decided to step in and protect her from this dude. So he's hanging out, protecting her from this dude. And eventually, finally, you basically deal with that. That dude tries and makes one last play for the manuscripts. He gets caught trying to steal them, and is put away. Is arrested. And he's like, hey, then you have the love interest guy going, hey, why don't you stay at a friend's house? I have a friend who has runs a bed and breakfast or something like that, or some house, has like a nice little place where you can stay. So basically, it was some interesting stuff going on there. Stay at this place and hang out. So basically, Carrie staying at this place and hanging out. All right. And basically, the mom eventually finds out what that place is and goes there and hangs out with her. And it's definitely not like a professional organization at all. It's like one older lady who basically keeps things clean and makes the meals and just hangs out, and she's like, yeah, she's basically empty nest type stuff going on. So it's like, okay, cool. She gets to hang out with Carrie. You have this one lady hanging out with Carrie. You have the mom hanging out with Carrie, and then the mom's like, hey, like, I don't think she's basically like, hey, this girl's being pretty unprofessional. Your maid is being pretty unprofessional. Getting a little too friendly. You might want to check on that. It's like, oh no, it's like, mom, it's not the maid. It's just that's Mrs. So and so, Mrs. Tweedy or whatever. She's not bad. She's just trying to, make, like, things comfortable, make things cool, So I was thinking, okay, this is a cool thing. I want to see more of this. I'd like to see more of this. But then at the end, then later, the mom goes back to Sam. The mom goes back to Sam and is like, yeah, I decided to go back to Sam. I found out that he sent me a letter saying that that other girl's gone. And so he misses me, so I went back to him, and we can make a place for you too if you want to come back. He's like, no. She's like, no, because it's like, I seen the way that dude looks at me. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in that crap, going back there near him at all. So no. So she's like, yeah, oh well, mom's gone back. I'm like, mom, who was definitely in a way an antagonist, basically was kind of starting to come around, but then it's like, no, I'm not gonna change. I'm gonna go back to the old ways again. This dude's a jerk. See ya. In a way, that's what happened in this movie. Now, it's not necessarily that level, not as bad. No, thank God, not that bad. All right, this isn't a Kristoff situation or whatever it is, but it is one of those things where it's like, you could have done something more with this. It's like, this could have been, amazing, very different and crazy, but you decided to go with this. I can live with this. It's basically, in the words of a certain dude that hangs out with reindeer in this movie, this is fine. Yeah, that part was definitely one of the let's say, more disappointing parts, but everything else was amazing. Everything else from beginning to end was amazing, and I was like, I was actually enjoying it. I was thinking, hey, I saw the first one. I thought the first one was pretty good too. Except for Kristoff's turn or whatever his name was. Not Kristoff. Hans. Hans. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, like, what? This happens. Like, this is happening. This one, things are much better. Oh my gosh. Oh, cool. All right. I was not really hit with anything abrupt that was just made me go like, okay, I don't like this at all. I really wish this wasn't in the movie. No, I never had any of that in here. So yeah, this is really good. This is really good. The song, the animation's awesome. The characters are awesome. The songs are awesome. It's just so many cool things. Even Olaf actually has some cool stuff going on, even though he's, of course, the silliest character in the movie. But silliest, cartooniest character in the movie. He had some amazing moments, and I'm like, yes, wow, a really dramatic scene with Anna. Anna was, in my opinion, I like Kristoff and the reindeer. They're okay. Elsa is amazing. Olaf actually was kind of awesome as well. But Anna, though, to me, Anna, the character that she just has the most stuff going on. It's just like I see her going like dealing with all this crazy stuff because it's basically you got somebody in here who Elsa who's basically like yeah you have power you have the awesome ability you have you can use ice. You can do this cool stuff. Please help us. And Anna's like, yeah, I can help too. No. And she's like, oh, like, hey, no, come on. It's like saying, I'm gonna protect you. There was one scene where she's like, hey, I can, where Elsa's like, okay, I gotta do this alone. And it's like, hey, wait a minute, I can help you. I can help you. And she's like, no, no. It's like, I got my powers to protect me. You don't have powers. I got powers. And I'm like, oh my god. And it's like, yeah, there's parts where I'm looking at this, I'm like, yeah, I'm like thinking to myself, how the heck is this gonna work? How's that? God is like, oh, okay, that can work. Well, yeah, you figured out a way. It was amazing. Frozen 2 was amazing. The best thing about Frozen 2 is the characters. Excuse me, guys. Characters, story, for the most part. Just character stories, animation. Music's pretty amazing too. Let's see here. Yeah. It was good. It was good. And there was like certain songs that are a little bit more interesting to me than others, but all of them were really good. And then of course you hear the versions on the closing credits, and oh my gosh, those were good. Those were amazing things, and they were good. It was like you had the stuff in the movie that was good. Then you have stuff that's on the closing credits. That's also good. That's just one of the coolest things about music, about stuff like this. And it's just like, yeah, there's like this one song in the movie I think was sung by a girl, one of the girls, and it was awesome. But then you hear it sung at the end credits by this guy, and he's amazing too. And that was awesome too. And it's just like, okay, both versions are good. I could basically play both versions. I basically could have both versions on my playlist on my music player, and just be like, yeah, both versions, and just be like, hopefully it's like alphabetical. It would be like, okay, we're here the say Elsa version. I don't know if it was Elsa, the Elsa version or the Anna version. And then we hear the Guy version, but his name is different. So basically, it's like you go several songs down the line, then you hear that other version. It's like, oh, and then I could say, hey, this is the other version of that song, So it's really cool. It's really cool. This was a really good movie. I definitely, I saw it with my mom, and that's another cool thing. Able to see a movie that is awesome with my mom. It's just so good because basically you gotta be very careful. Be very careful. Stephanie has her sensibilities are different, a bit different than mine are, and that's fine. But there's certain things where it's just like, yeah, if I was by myself, I'd be like, this is awesome. And if I was with my mom, I'm like, oh shoot, have you showing this to my mom? Thank you, no, that was in Zootopia. Thank you, Sing, with those bunnies. Sing with those bunnies. That was not fun. That was not cool because I'm like, hmm. That was in the movie. That's the movie. None of that here. None of that here was so good. It was so cool. And of course, unfortunately, also I almost forgot, but I gotta remember. There was a guy in this thing. Black dude in this thing. Great representation. For the most part, at least. He was definitely a supporting character, not a main character, really. But he was there, and he was amazing, and I liked him. I'm glad they actually had some people of color in this movie, in the Frozen universe. That was very nice to see. that was amazing to see. Yeah, he did a good job. It was nice. It was really cool. Yeah. Also, well, one of Frozone's relatives, or not, doesn't have to be. Good point. Yeah, but that'd be interesting, though. Yeah, it was good. It was good. So yeah, I'm working on now on. I want to see that Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood one. Oh, the best. That's the best. The worst is that plot twist, or not completely plot twist, but how they resolve some things, a certain thing that happens. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't, in my opinion, as good as it could have been. Bronze medal kind of stuff. But yeah, it was really good. It was still overall, this movie was amazing. I really like it, and I definitely want to see more stuff. A third movie, maybe, if they do it the right way. Like let's focus on their, let's focus on their kids. Okay, we have Anna and Elsa, and Chris, and Olaf, and Sven. I think, yeah, Sven. Sven are cool stuff's going on. with them twice. So now we need to focus on new characters, and I have this universe. There's a lot of cool stuff in this universe I wouldn't mind seeing, you know. So yeah, it'd be really cool to see some new stuff, in this universe and of course in others. But yeah, if they do a third movie, then let's figure out what else we can do. So it'd be really cool to see. Check me out on YouTube, DeviantArt. I'm going to go work on more stuff. As I said before, I'm back in full vigor. I got my what's it called? Dysphoria is Fear comic fight scene. The last fight scene of the comic is getting. I'm going to draw that. I'm drawing that right now. I'm going to hook that up. And I finally figured out what fighting styles to give the characters I'm working with, I'm using in that fight scene, are going to have. So it's really cool. I'm figuring it out. Finally. And I'm finally back in full vigor. And Starco Versus is going to continue on because we're gearing up for in Starco Versus. Everybody's gearing up to go and save Star and Agent Zero. I think call her. Yeah, I don't know if that's the name. No, that's basically Agent Zero. Basically, we'll figure out what's going on with Brittany and all the shadow monsters and whatnot. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna figure that out and get that going. It'll take some time, but I'll do it. So now I'm back at full figure. So basically, I can do 1 page Starco, 1 page Dysphoria Sphere, and eventually this other stuff I'm trying to work on. Colors from Deep Fried, stuff about Destiny 2, Sonic Forces. I still have to get at that stuff. I promised that stuff like near a year ago. I get back at it. Got my alarm clock saying it's 10 o'clock. Very nice. Now I've got to go work on some Star Ocean parts. See you guys next time. Check me out on YouTube, DeviantArt. And also, it's also, this video is not directed toward children. It is directed toward everyone. Also, we need a rating that says that. That's what we need. A rating that says that. Made for kids and not made for kids is not enough. We need something that says made for everyone, right? At least. Made for everyone, and get the advertisements tailored to that rating, not to the individual. That will help stop this whole YouTube issue with COPPA. That's the problem. Yeah, seeing their stuff in the way. I'm trying to get this out of here. Click. There we go. See you next time.